The Jesse Blake Sports Report with Jesse Blake.
On January 24th, I released an episode of the Jesse Blake Sports Report where I tried to predict when the Oilers streak would end. And what I identified on the calendar was the game that happened tonight. The Vegas Golden Knights versus the Edmonton Oilers. And in this game tonight, the Oilers are coming off of the All-Star break where their two top players had a very busy weekend in Toronto. The Vegas Golden Knights were playing very good hockey going into the break, and coming out of the break, they're well rested, and they have one of the best goaltenders in the league in Adin Hill. And what happened tonight? This streak ended. Unfortunately for us hockey fans, we do not get to see history this time around. There's still time. The Oilers could go on a 16-game winning streak right after losing this one. But tonight, we do not get to witness history, and the Oilers fall one game short of tying the Pittsburgh Penguins for the longest consecutive winning streak in a regular season in NHL history. And a lot of it has to do with Adin Hill, and a lot of it has to do with the Vegas Golden Knights and their just ability to block shots. And watching the game tonight, the Oilers got no 5-on-5 goals. Their only goal came on a breakaway between McDavid and Draisaitl, shorthanded, and they got that goal on a great turnover that they forced at the opposing blue line. It was fantastic play there. And overall, the Oilers should be very happy with how they played tonight. One thing the broadcast kept saying is that tonight felt like a playoff game, and it absolutely did. Holy cow, was it tight. And I think that's the takeaway we got to take away from today's game, is that it was so tight throughout the entire 60 minutes of hockey. Everything was being smothered. Whenever there looked like both teams, first of all, I'm cutting myself off, but whenever either team was playing off of the rush and it looked like there was going to be a great rush chance, there's going to be some open space, somebody would come up and take the puck. Somebody would come up and make a great defensive play. Every time these teams would get into the middle of the ice, into the zone, into the slot area, it was clogged, it was filled, and there was rare moments in the game when the team would get a couple minutes of pressure in the offensive zone. And when that happened, it looked real dangerous. But when that happened, you get an instance where a block shot, like Vegas comes back and Petro makes a nice play on the puck and the shot goes wide, or McDavid gets a nice chance coming up to the net that he had on a little bit of a break with Draisaitl, but Adin Hill makes a great stop with his pad save because Vegas did a great job taking away the cross ice pass. And that was the theme of the game. You couldn't get anything going. And the only thing that Vegas had going for them was Draisaitl. I'm not sure if he got tripped. Or if he blew a tire at the boards, but Draisaitl, unfortunately, I think he blew a tire in the middle of the ice near his boards. It goes the other way. Chandler Stevenson is able to make a nice play off of a Paul Cotter zone entry. Paul Cotter had the puck like down low. He made a little dangle through his legs. It comes around the back. Eventually, Chandler Stevenson, is able to bury it, and that's the game winner, and that makes it 2-1 on the board, and then Vegas added the empty net as well. And shout out Warren Fogle, I believe it was, who with 2 minutes left, it looked like Vegas was going to ice it with the empty net, and he comes back and he makes a nice play on the puck, and we get 2 more minutes of great hockey. But there's nothing that Edmonton should take away from this game as a negative. Their third line. The third line of Corey Perry, Dylan Holloway, and Ryan McLeod looks fantastic. It might be the best third line in hockey. Like, I was shocked at how seamless that trio plays together, and that all of their skills complement each other so well. And Corey Perry had a great one-time shot that just went wide. And the just went wide part of the game for the Edmonton Oilers is the puck luck that they didn't get, that they've been getting for 15 straight games. Because when you're a good team at the top of the level, you generate your own puck luck. And things like McDavid going off of the crossbar and just barely missing and it going over Adin Hill's shoulder, but not under the crossbar. And like I said, that Corey Perry miss, and Draisaitl had a couple of chances very early on. And just the fortunate bounces that usually good teams get, the Oilers didn't get them this game. And it's sad to see the streak end because it was fun following it. Obviously, like tonight was must-watch hockey. It is great to see that the game's generating must-see moments. And hockey's in a good place when McDavid and the Oilers are winning. So this streak was great. Now for the Oilers, it might be a little pressure's off. They might play a little better. One thing that's happened during the streak is that they've been doing everything at 5-on-5. There is room for improvement with the Oilers and their offensive game. Their special teams, their power play in particular, I should say, their power play can be improved coming off of this 15-game winning streak. So there's room to grow for the Oilers. And now that the pressure of the streak is kind of off of their back, now it's about focusing and playing great playoff hockey. And that's something they've been doing. Obviously, if you win 15 games in a row, you're playing great style of hockey. But the way Chris Knoblauch has them playing a stifling, you can't get anything going once you enter the zone. They're not allowing teams to enter the zone either, breaking things up at the blue line. It's fantastic hockey, and if they just continue playing this way, their defense is outstanding, and if they can generate some more offense, which is like a weird thing to be asking out of the Oilers, hey, generate more offense. But if they're able to generate more offense, this team could be unstoppable once the playoffs come around. And on the Vegas side of things, we should definitely mention Adin Hill. How do people not regard Adin Hill in the top ranks of the goalies in the league right now? Like when you name best goaltenders in the league, you say Connor Hellebuck, Jake Ottinger, you say Igor Shesterkin, you say Andre Vasilevsky, you say Thatcher Demko even. It slips people's minds because I guess he hasn't been doing it for long enough, but like he had the great playoff run last year, and I guess Logan Thompson was their starter going into that, and Adin Hill came out of nowhere. So people don't regard Adin Hill in that category of goaltender, but we need to start entering Adin Hill into that category of goaltender because what he did against Edmonton tonight was absolutely spectacular. That is a top 1, 2, 3 goalie in the National Hockey League right now at this moment, and he can win any game, any night for this Vegas Golden Knights team, and that is a scary thing if you are an opposing team. And shout out Nick Waugh, who's holding it down on the first line center position without Jack Eichel. He is having a phenomenal little run here, and he looked great tonight. Marchessault looked great. All of Vegas looked great. I don't even need to name the entire roster because I don't think anybody on the Golden Knights had a bad game, and that's what it takes to beat a team like Edmonton. And Vegas has shown time and time again, really throughout the history of their franchise, because it's not very long, but especially last year during their phenomenal cup run, this team rises to the occasion. When it's a playoff game like it was tonight, the Vegas Golden Knights, I'm not going to call them unbeatable because they're beatable, but they play a near unbeatable style of hockey. The Edmonton Oilers tried everything to get shots through. They tried to get anything on net. They had a whole bunch of chances, but Vegas was just too good. And I think that's the narrative of coming out of this game. Adin Hill was too good, and Vegas was too good defensively. There's so much regular season left to play. Like, there's still months left of the regular season in the NHL. But regardless of how this season plays out, one thing we're all going to remember if you followed the league this year is this winning streak that the Edmonton Oilers had. And they had the 8-game winning streak, and then they pushed another one to 15, and they almost broke the record. And I think that's going to be a memory that's going to last with hockey fans for a long, long time. And thank you, the Edmonton Oilers, for giving us this great hockey over this winning streak. And I'm excited to see what they do. Now that, like, it'd be a shame. I've always said this. I'm going way off beyond it. I'm going to end this video very soon, but it'd be a shame if Connor McDavid ends his career without a Stanley Cup. I don't know if this is the year, but this team is phenomenal, and there's a chance that this could be the year for Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how the rest of the regular season goes. We'll see how the playoffs play out, and I'll be here along the way, reacting, talking about it, yapping away. And that is it for me tonight. You could have been anywhere in the world, but it shows me watching this or listening right now, and I appreciate you for that. Good night from Toronto.
And that is how it's done.
The Jesse Blake Sports Report with Jesse Blake.
Jesse Blake, the guy that likes to hear his name twice in one sentence. Sure, I know him. No, he doesn't have an ego at all.